So Bungie finally gave us some answers surrounding the skill-based matchmaking debate in Destiny at the moment. Only problem is that none of what they said in this week at Bungie adds up to how the matchmaking system actually works. So let's just see how Bungie claims the matchmaking system works. First, they identify a pool of available players with a good connection to you. Within that pool of players, they choose the players whose skill level most closely matches yours. If they can't find enough players with a skill level close to yours, they broaden the skill spectrum. And if they still can't find any good matches, then they start sacrificing connection. Once the lobby is filled, they divide the players into 2 equally matched teams, and the game starts. This is bullshit. There's actual proof out there that this is not how Destiny's matchmaking system works. Anyone with a NetJuma router has access to a feature that shows them the exact location of every opponent in their match. A couple of my British friends have NetJuma routers, and almost every match they play in the Crucible, they're matching people from all over the world. We're talking Qatar, we're talking the US West Coast, South Africa, and even Australia. Now, I don't have a NetJuma, so I can't actually see the exact location, but what I can do is I can check the profiles of my opponents. It doesn't show country, but it does show language. And I see languages such as Arabic, Japanese, and US English very frequently. Note that I live in Denmark, so I should be matching against Brits and not Americans. Then there's the skill factor. Now, Bungie says that they give up skill before they give up connection. Now, I'm in the top 1%, and funnily enough, all I play are sweats and half my lobbies are all yellow and red bars. Yesterday, just 45 minutes after this week at Bungie, I solo queued into a match of Rift in the daily playlist. After the match, I received a message from this gentleman explaining that he loved my videos and he never expected to match against me because he was from South Africa. Now, first of all, thank you, dude, I really appreciate that. But secondly, South Africa. That's almost 10,000 kilometers away from where I live. Unsurprisingly, the connections in this lobby weren't the greatest. There are only 2 explanations to this. Either there wasn't 10 Europeans matchmaking in the daily playlist consecutively, thus prompting the matchmaking to find players from halfway across the world, or the majority of Europeans matchmaking at the time didn't have a high enough skill rating to be allowed into the lobby, thus matchmaking sacrificed connection quality instead. In other words, point 3 and 4 in the weekly update have been switched around. You don't have to be a rocket scientist to tell that the first option simply isn't plausible. Destiny is a massively popular game. There's simply no way there wasn't 12 players in Europe searching for a match at the same time. Roughly 500,000 players participate in Trials of Osiris every single week, but you're telling me there wasn't 12 Europeans in the daily playlist? Secondly, I have many friends of lower skill who live relatively close to me. This Monday specifically, in Iron Banner, I was playing with 2 of them, both fairly new to PvP shooters. If I'm not mistaken, Destiny PvP was in fact the first PvP shooter, so obviously their skill level isn't anywhere near mine. I was having a field day, dropping 30 to 40 kills every single match, and my worst KD ratio of the night was at 2.14. There was literally no one in these lobbies who could touch me, and the connection worked for the most part fairly solid. But when I solo queued Iron Banner, I played nothing but sweats and red bars. That to me is outright proof that skill-based matchmaking is in fact a thing. I played for 3 to 4 hours, so barely any competition and barely any red bars, but load in solo and suddenly everyone is a red bar MLG god. SBMM is the only explanation, and to me, definite proof that skill is prioritized higher than connection quality. So either Bungie outright lied to us in the weekly update, or literally have no clue that their matchmaking system isn't working as intended. Lying to the community is bad, but the second option is even worse, as it suggests that they're incompetent, and I really hope that's not the case. And mind you, I'm absolutely not the only one who's furious with Bungie's response to this debate. Many other content creators, including Miss 5000 Watts, Tefty Teft, Wish You Lock, Triple Reg, and Story Machine, have called out Bungie on their BS. This week at Bungie was a massive fuck you to the PvP community, especially after Teach specifically asked for constructive feedback on the matter, something many of us delivered on, only for them to give us a copy-paste lie as a response. I'm getting really fed up with skill-based matchmaking and Bungie's treatment of the PvP community, and I'm not the only one. Many PvP players have already quit the game, some only play Trials of Osiris on the weekends, and I wouldn't be surprised if even more players quit following this update. Bungie have just given off the impression that they couldn't give 2 shits about the PvP community, and that comes right after the first light Trials of Osiris and 2 weeks of Spooky Trials, which once again, the majority of the PvP community did not enjoy. I could honestly rant forever about skill-based matchmaking, but I'm gonna stop here. If you want to, you can read my feedback on SBMM. I posted it on the Bungie forums the other day, and I got a lot of positive feedback on my post. There will be a link to that in the description, but for now, Chris out.